All right, I'm Spencer.
I'm Rosie.
I'm JD.
This is the Itch Network podcast number 64. American Gaming.
American Gaming.
Nintendo 64.
We'll get to that topic in a bit.
Spencer, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Dragon Quest 7.
Oh, cool, man. How far?
72 hours, maybe 73.
Sweet. You're also playing League, right?
Yeah, I'm playing a little bit of League of Legends.
What else?
Gears of War 4.
Oh, indie title. Sweet.
Yeah.
Right. Rosie.
I've also been playing a little bit of Pokemon Go.
Rosie. Okay, cool, man.
Oh, hold on. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention
The VR.
PlayStation VR.
PlayStation VR.
Yeah, which we will be playing later tonight.
Whoop whoop. Swagadelic.
Yeah.
Maybe get the Resident Evil demo. Would it work with it?
It's on there.
Yeah. So go ahead and play that. And yeah, he has played it, but still, regardless, play it in VR. See what changed. Rosie, what have you been playing? Or No Man's Sky.
So I have been playing Super Smash Bros. 4.
Speed up.
Yeah.
I've also been playing a little bit of Super Mario Bros. Maker. And I've been playing a little League with my buddy here, Spencer, Ryan, and Sean. Also James. It's been a treat. I wish I could play some games with you. This how.
JD, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing Gears. I've been playing Bloodborne. I did the stream Sunday. Thank you for all you guys that came out. It was a lot of fun. I killed people and I died a bunch of times, but it's all good. Beat the game just now, and we'll be doing a Why I Love on that eventually. First Chrono Trigger.
Dude, I gotta be Dragon Quest 7 first.
But then, outside of that, Gears, of course.
Yeah.
Ran through that. Did you laugh at that tomato scene?
Yes.
Dude, I could not stop laughing.
I loved it.
It's like, they're getting my fucking tomatoes! You know,
I actually told him at work.
yeah, and you can shoot the tomatoes, and there's an Easter egg where the voice actor actually just... He rants.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he rants for like a minute
That's
about
hilarious.
wrecking his tomatoes. It's great.
I was surprised at the comedy in that game.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't play the other ones and pay attention enough or something, because I played the first one, but I didn't play the other two, or three actually.
They're pretty funny.
And I guess I never paid attention to my
Baird on occasion, maybe Cole, but it was never Dom or it was never Marcus. But the weird thing that I would have to say is actually Marcus is actually really... He actually feels like a character in this one.
Yeah,
as opposed to just the brooding guy that was in jail. Completely different now.
And I guess that kind of makes sense because he's not the player.
He's not the player.
They're able to switch it because of the main character.
JD's kind of
bland.
He's kind of bland. At first, when I first started off, he had some funny quips, and then now I'm just like... And Dell is non-existent.
Dell?
Yeah, Dell's his friend. Kate is the...
Oh, the dude with the black guy?
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
He's a wisecracker.
But
I guess it's kind of standard.
Yeah, it's standard. And it's like, I've heard it on Baird. Why do I care about it? That's a review topic.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But yeah, mainly those three. I got my Final Fantasy account back up. There's a lot of people online. A lot more people online. Ran into a friend of mine from work on there, so that's kind of cool. He's like, hey man, I'm raiding and all that stuff. And I'm like, maybe I should go there. But it's a lot of fun. It's definitely fun to come back to it, and you realize there's 2 patch worth of things to go through.
Correct.
So there's a lot of work on my end, but at the same time, I'm okay with it because the game's fun. And I like the environment.
If it's work, then are you really having a good time?
Right. The smartest men never work a day in their lives.
Yeah.
But they also announced Stormblood, which is the expansion for Final Fantasy 14, comes out summer next year.
Okay.
So
It's
sort
got to do
of
with monks,
quick.
right?
It has to do with monks. The trailer is just 2 monks fighting really in a really cool area. So we'll see about that.
Can you be a monk in this expansion?
Yeah, you could be a monk. It was one of the starter classes.
I don't know.
It's one of the starter classes. But yeah, you could be a monk, and they teased Red Mage, and hopefully Samurai will be in there because they talked about them when they dropped Heaven's Ward.
Who are you gonna pick up if they do?
Red Mage. My
You
brother.
pick Red
My
Mage?
brother would play Samurai, but Red Mage is probably going to be
here.
here.
To play support.
Yeah, but he played Samurai in Final Fantasy 11. So, like, he didn't stay Samurai. And Samurai was a tank in Final Fantasy 11. One of y'all is vibrating.
Oh.
Anyway, so outside of that, yeah. So topic. Spencer, would you throw the topic at us so we can discuss it like gentlemen?
Like gentlemen. Remember, gentlemanly we must be.
No.
This comes from our good friend Daniel. You might know him as, it's just Daniel.
Daniel Bryan, the wrestler.
or you might know him as Special Agent Cooper on
Special
YouTube.
Agent Cooper.
Spec H Coop.
Always a good friend. And his topic that he brought to us once was being American gamers. Ah.
Oh.
I am an American gamer.
Living in America.
With the exception of Justin, who is German, and Spencer, who is Mexican, and Kokiri, you are all American. The gaming markets and tastes vary quite a bit between America, Japan, and Europe.
Is that a joke? He
Yeah,
knows.
I think so.
Okay, thank God.
What? He knows you're blind.
Okay.
Nobody else does that. What do you feel are game franchises and genres that are typical for the American game market?
What?
Do you consider your own personal taste in games typical for an American?
Okay.
What parts of Japanese or European gaming do you find interesting or amusing?
Let's get into it.
And do you think... No, I'm just kidding. That's right. So,
Okay, asshole. I think. What was the first part? We'll tackle these in tiers.
okay.
So let's hit the first one.
What do you feel are game franchises and genres that are typical for the American game market?
Well,
Guns.
let's think back to the 80s and early 90s.
Oh, okay.
What was coming out then, movie-wise?
Predator.
Predator. Last Action Hero.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of action.
Total Recall. I swear it's not just Arnold Schwarzenegger, but yeah.
You got your Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Your Jean-Claude. You got your Jackie Chans.
Chuck Norris is kicking ass.
You got your
Maybe in a different world. But
yeah. You got your Bruce Lee's.
Yeah.
That was 80. He was 90s, right? But yeah, you got those. So you have all that stuff, and of course, art imitates life, right? And as kids, our lives were all about just explosions and blowing shit up, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
That's what I did.
I was raised in a wartime period.
Nanomachines.
So, Terminator.
I was born
So,
on Battlefield.
anyway, do you think love can bloom on the battlefield? Yeah. So, but I'll tell you what we did love:
Yeah.
games about explosions and shooting people.
Oh, yeah.
GoldenEye was really popular. If you look at Contra, very popular. A lot of games had to do with aliens and the unknown and just Caucasian dudes running through and gunning things down.
Good old Caucasian.
Good old Cax.
Well, we're getting to this moment. What are the three biggest games out right now?
Subjective, and subjective.
I mean, like, figuratively, Overwatch, shooting, guns, blazing, 20 millions playing, active playing.
Yeah, but not really
What
too much
are people
blood.
hyped up in America right now?
Not really too much
Battlefield
blood.
1,
It's not really too much blood.
Gears of War 4.
I don't like Gears.
I don't think Gears is that popular.
No, I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it's
people are hyped.
popular. I think it just died down. But
I mean, the biggest franchise right now is probably Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just in general.
yeah,
But I'm
but
saying people
Quality-wise, I don't know, but biggest.
I'm saying people are quite hyped for Battlefield 1. That's all.
So we, as Americans, I think we tend towards war stuff.
yeah, we slowly been branching off, and I think it's due to kind of the movement to where we focus a little bit more on choice. Call of Duty, I think it was Black Ops 2. It's like, oh, let's have some choice in there. Or yeah, it's Black Ops 2. Yeah, it's 2 where you're like, oh, you make these choices, these people die, these people live. Same thing in Battlefield. 4, oh, you make these choices, these people die, these people live. Oh, what are you gonna do? You know, like all that stuff. Mass Effect, good example. A lot of we like gritty shit too. So if
Yeah.
you look at
I
Dragon Age,
personally don't care for. Like, I think gritty's okay, but I don't like all gritty all the time. I think it.
hey, war can be gritty.
War is not.
War is very gritty.
Yeah, I'm saying war is
It can be
not.
gritty.
War is gritty.
War can be gritty. Sometimes it's just a big old party.
It could be cute,
Because
but
we're all just hanging around.
but we also as American gamers, I think we like a lot of ease in things. So for instance, let's turn to Mass Effect. You look at Mass Effect 1, right? It's like all these moving parts, and you jump to Mass Effect 2, and you just have ammo now, okay? Because it used to be you're managing your overheating thing, and they had to retcon it in why you switched weapons. And it was just like, the cooling engines were stupid and outdated, and Master
These
Chief and
ones
his
have
team.
more punch.
Yeah. So it was just like, okay, fine, whatever.
We can't keep the cooling engine in it, so guess what? Ammo.
Another good example, and this could just be EA in general, but hey, they are a big company. when you compare Dragon Age Origins to Dragon Age 3, Dragon Age Origins, oh god, I'll drop this attack right here, and then it's going to set this stuff off. These guys are going to come from the west and strike them and critical hit them, or whatever. And then Dragon Age 3, hold R2 to attack. So, I actually liked Inquisition, but at the end of the day, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dragon Age 2 was just mashing A. So it was a progression.
Yeah, oh my god.
Progression is one word for it.
Yeah.
I might use regression.
Regression, yeah.
And that's a good point that you brought up Dragon Age, because Dragon Age is a very American-style RPG.
It is.
RPGs are very different based on the region, specifically Japan and everywhere else.
Well, Europe, too.
Europe, you think is that?
CD Projekt Red.
So, I mean, I think it's still... I think once you get past Japan, and once you get more Eastern, well, depending on how... Western, I think we would be calling it, right? Depending on how you look at the globe. European and American and stuff.
Yeah.
They sort of lean more towards active, like having the player do something and feel like they're in control of the characters. I guess which would be more in control than Dragon Age. Dragon Age is a little bit like...
Not Inquisition. Inquisition, like if you played Rogue, you could counter and parry and all that stuff. So,
Gotcha.
But it's one class, as opposed to... And you can completely miss.
There's a lot of it.
Well, but I guess KOTOR would be somewhere in between turn-based and active.
It was an active battle system, man.
Basically, yeah. Whereas Japan, at least, is famous for having turn-based, strategic menus. Then again, they do have Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
Yep, they do.
So they're trying. They're appealing to the market.
Well, ironically, Bloodborne and Dark Souls are
And Dragon's Dogma.
completely different in the sense of like how you progress. When I play Bloodborne, get in their face. When I play Dark Souls,
Souls is
put that
patient.
shield up.
Be patient.
So
Wait
it's
for them to make a mistake and then...
yeah, so it's a different
Right.
mentality in that regard. But the other thing that's kind of interesting is we don't take, in my opinion, American games, and we're excluding indie. We're going like big budget right now, real quick.
Yeah.
American like game companies don't like to take risks. They don't like to go, let's do. I've got a crazy idea. Let's get going with it. Whereas if you look at Team Ninja with Neo is a risk in the sense of it's a new IP, and it's something that is like Dark Souls, but it's probably going to satisfy that itch because we don't know when the next Dark Souls is coming. Nothing. I just twitched.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we'll get it on occasion, but it usually comes from the indie market, like Rocket League, for instance. Really great idea. Didn't come from, like major companies. It came from indie.
Yeah, we're in Japan. They're releasing Katamari Damacy.
Yeah. And they're like, you roll up things on a planet, and then it gets bigger and bigger.
Dude, I would have loved to be in the boardroom meeting for that. That's just how that got through.
Hear me out.
We stand with the game and what you...
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Seems
Guess
kinda
what?
weird.
Listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hell, even Splatoon, you play as squids that like to ink shit up.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
no,
do you
that
think?
makes sense to me. They wanted to have a FPS that didn't involve a lot of killing and violence.
Well, if I'm still hearing the the theme of it or how they're gonna go about doing it, I'm still going, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna make a game, guys. And this one's for the kids. You're a squid, but you're a kid. But you're a squid.
You're a squid. Like,
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
pain on the field, right?
A lot of
What are you
pain.
gonna do? Turn into a squid. It's like,
you're gonna go into that
The
ink.
game's not even about killing people. It's about painting the walls around.
can we still kill people? Like, yeah, you're gonna kill people.
In a minute, okay? In a minute.
Well, calm down.
Yeah. But you definitely have that option of having more like thrills. I wouldn't say thrill seeker. Like they're more willing to take a risk in that regard. Like if we look at, I would equate the way that American companies make games to the way like Asian companies, Japanese companies, whatever companies make games is American companies build up. So they go Assassin's Creed, and all the other sequels of it.
Yeah.
They go Watch Dogs, but still, there's probably going to be a third one if it does well enough. And then, whereas we'll have something where it'll be like Neo, and it'll be like maybe a sequel, or maybe not, or they'll do like, because I'm thinking Team Ninja Gaiden, just 3.
You came with Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge was Ubisoft. Well, yeah.
EA Dice.
Yeah.
Dice made it. I don't think. No.
But yeah. So they'll do like they build more like villages in the sense of Americans we build cities.
Mm-hmm.
So. And that comes down to that's the way I look at it anyway. It comes down to a preference, obviously. Is do you like in certain situations they have big buildings, right? You got your Final Fantasies, you got your
I was just gonna say
your
Dragon
Quest.
But on that note, think of all the spin-offs.
Yeah. So the spin-offs are like special departments.
Yeah.
You're still in that. You're not in that building, but they're just down the street.
Yeah.
You know, and because they're associated with that building, they're naturally like a little bit bigger. So, but
Can I make a Dragon Quest where you can be a slime? It's like, go over there.
hey, you guys know Minecraft?
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. Make it.
Yeah, let's give a shot at the whole FPS thing in Final Fantasy. What are we gonna call it? Dirge of Cerberus?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead. It'll tell a story.
Yeah.
Do we put Cloud in it? Do we put Cloud in it?
No,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because American gaming, and I guess to some extent European gaming, although I don't know as much about that one, but they like the yearly releases to eventually get into that rhythm.
Yeah.
Call of Duty every year.
It's safe.
Assassin's Creed was doing it every year.
Call of
They
Duty,
got this stuff.
the release of Call of Duty is a holiday
Far Cry.
to some people, man.
Far Cry, I guess.
Sort of. It's consistent. Like when you talk about Far Cry, the how long it was for 2 and 3, and then you jump from 3 to 4 to 5, and then it's like okay, or not 5.
You're calling 5 that caveman?
Primal.
Primal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Game companies.
But
I'm looking up European game companies right now.
yeah, the Japanese one is. And the market itself is pretty different.
Well,
too.
Ubisoft they say is Europe, but that's like
Yeah.
yeah. There's a Montreal, which I would still call America though. Let's think about it.
One thing that's kind of interesting though is I think the American market and the casual market is going more towards the Japanese style. Just hasn't gotten there yet. But the Japanese have been into mobile gaming for years. They're like deadlocked into it. And we are slowly, I don't even know if slowly, we're kind of rapidly moving towards like a mobile gaming market where we're just obsessed with games on the go.
Yeah.
Which to me is kind of sad because I feel like it marks the end of the Game Boy series, if you want to call it that. So you got like 3DS, DS, all that stuff. I feel like it kind of marks the end of that. And I hope it doesn't.
I don't think it does. I don't think it will.
I kind of think it does.
I mean, I don't think it will. I think it's going to be pushed, but it's not going to like completely demolish it. It's gonna
Because
be
why would they keep making a 3DS if everybody has this?
Because 3DS is still something that's comfortable to like old school gamers like us. And there's
Why
still,
would you-
there's still enough.
But you
of
don't
us,
build for the old school games.
But I mean, there's still enough of us to, and not to mention people who perhaps don't want to play on their cell phone to play like on their phones. People like the controller.
Oh,
That's
EA
why-
Dice is UK by the way,
Hmm?
and Sweden.
EA Dice? Oh, okay.
And sometimes it just comes down to a preference thing. Just because I have a phone, I don't play mobile games on here unless like I'm at work.
But we're older.
Wiser even.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to market to kids...
Hey
I don't know.
guys, you want to play Mario Brothers?
Like, why would a parent... If kids are getting phones younger and younger, right?
Right.
So if your kid gets a phone,
Why would you give it to
why
them?
would you then buy them, a 3DS, if they have games on their phone?
I mean, that's a fair point, but
Majority, what's up? We're talking about American gamers. What kind of gamer are you?
So, I looked at a bunch of the European kind of guys, and I ended up with Crytek, Dice, shit. Fuck me.
what was that mobile device phone?
I'm still talking.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna stop.
Remedy. We obviously have CD Projekt, Red.
I really want to see that next game they're coming out with.
What's it called? Cyberpunk. Apparently, Rockstar North.
Really? They're European?
Yeah, they're out of Edinburgh, which is UK.
Oh.
Deck,
Learn something.
who's Deck 13? We don't worry.
Majority
about
was thinking it could be more like a mobile device with a D-pad. Yeah, maybe they could. So here's what they could do. They could theoretically just add like a little device that attaches to your phone. You know?
That would be cool, I guess. But here's the thing. Didn't they already have that? Was that phone that was like you could put games on now, you could flip it over, and now it's just like a gamepad. I'm trying to think what it was.
Yeah, it was a Sony XPS or Xperius or whatever.
Yeah, what if they added like a little thing that just that's put in that slot right
They
there?
already had something like that.
And then you put the cartridge like on the back.
Sony.
Well, I know. I'm just saying they could do that for
Sony.
all phones.
Sony.
Then you'd have a phone.
Sony.
Ah!
Ah!
I wonder how easy it would be to program games like that too. Like, I don't want. I guess maybe it's not even like the necessary like device. I just want the games. Like, I still don't feel like mobile phone gaming is all that
Guys,
great.
topic.
But either way.
Sorry, yeah, we went off topic again.
Regardless, yeah. So they're probably Europe's probably a mix of the two. Is what I'm saying.
I think they lean more towards Americans, though.
Yeah, but they also have the concept of willing to take risks. Ninja Theory is also a European company. And
They're the ones that.
They did their obviously the reboot of DMC, right? But before that, they did Heavenly Sword, which was trying to be the cinematic adventure thing. They did Enslaved. So they're trying to. They have a general direction. You kind of know what their general direction is, but regardless, that's kind of their thing. Whereas like we in America like ease. In Japan, they like hard work pays off, right? And that's kind of more of their lifestyle too. Look at 73 hours, right? You're not even max level, are you?
No.
Not even remotely, huh?
I'm 3 sections away from the end.
But what about your level?
My level, usually end these games around 40, mid 40, sometimes 50. My main character is like 39, I think.
Okay, you're back 128.
128.
But yeah, there's that payoff. There's the grind, quote unquote, is more familiar with Japanese gaming than it is with American. Like in American, we'll just complain about it.
You know what I don't like about Japanese gaming? Anime.
Okay.
I don't like.
So you just don't like anime, is what you're saying?
Right. But it's kind of like heavily infused in a lot of Japanese games.
Well, that art style in general was able to kind of meld together. If you look at Tokyo Mirage Sessions, it's technically a fusion of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not chibi cutesy, or maybe they are at one point, but for the most part, yeah, it's a blend. Star Ocean, same thing. It's a blend.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it doesn't always work. Like, I don't like it in Star Ocean. I'm just like, I can't believe I thought this would be fun. But in some instances, I mean, was that a problem for Tokyo Mirage? Was that...
No, I don't hate it for that. I think it lends itself well. I just don't like that every game has to be like
Yeah,
that.
it has to have the tropes. And
Yeah, it's very tropey. It's very like I get it. Like it can be funny at times, like tongue in cheek, and
but it's almost like
sometimes it's like, oh, another cat.
Yeah,
like that girl likes cats.
Oh, that's a cat girl. Yeah.
And that girl likes to eat a lot of ice cream. It's like, okay, yeah, I know your deal. You eat a million things a day and you never gain weight.
What was that thing in Bravely Second that got on your nerves? What was that? Coop the gravy?
Oh yeah, coup de gravy. I got in a long conversation about that. That's actually translation.
Oh.
A lot of the things they said in that actually made a lot of sense. But when it got translated to English, the people that worked on it did some weird shit.
Oh, so it was just accidental. It wasn't like a joke.
It wasn't their intention to be stupid. I guess it was a little bit. It made more sense in the context in Japan, and that's one thing that sucks about multicultural gaming is that if we don't speak Japanese, we gotta get the English translation, and who knows? Certain games do it well. Like Nintendo takes time to make sure it's right. Not every company is going to make sure that the translation is good.
Right.
And that game.
Nintendo's messed up before.
Yeah.
On that, yeah. Birdie comes to mind.
Really?
Capcom with what's it called? Yeah. No. Birdie and what's it called in Super Mario RPG?
Oh wait, you mean
like
Super
she's
Mario
like
World
transgender.
2? No, Super Mario World 2, not RPG.
No, because she was talking though. And they were talking, or if it wasn't Birdie, it was the girl who had the hat on and she had like pink hair and she was purple. And she was, I think, like they had a hard time figuring out what gender she was. And then they're like, oh, she's just transgender. Just accept it. And it was like, because it had to do with like, it was right.
So Georgie's saying, you mean the J-pop edgy style Dragon Quest / Ball is technically anime style too? Yeah, of course. I mean, again, nothing wrong with the style. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like that everything has to be it.
Yeah, because sometimes But that's the thing that people would argue about with us, with American gaming, is they'd go, I hate the fact that this dude's got to be a freaking huge muscly dude.
And Brody and brooding.
He's got to have a best friend that's like saved him in a gunfight, and they gotta.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
we made a promise to our wives or something like that we'll get home safe.
And our tropes are dumb too.
All tropes essentially are dumb.
Inherently are dumb.
Like very rarely will a trope be like warranted and good. And
like if I have to hear another preview of a game and say this isn't your typical hero, this guy sometimes blurs the line of right and wrong. It's like, oh my god,
hey guys.
and then you look at the grand scheme of things, like how many games have actually really done that? I mean, Spec Ops: The Line did that, but if you're looking at something like, I don't know, Mass Effect, he's got to do a dirty job to get it done. No, you're just being evil.
Yeah.
You just kicked a guy out of a building.
It's like, you want to kill that guy on the way out?
I want to kill that guy on the way out.
It's like, you gotta do a dirty job again. No, I didn't. I didn't do any of that dirty things because that's a game where you make choices.
Yeah.
And I didn't make any bad choices.
Yeah. Like sometimes you have to get down and dirty to get the job done. I'd never done a bad thing in Mass Effect. I was a good guy.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Really good guy.
Yeah.
I think The Witcher 3 did it because it forced you in situations where you had to make that.
Oh yeah, that was a big play that green line.
Yeah, the only other way you could avoid it was to run away from the quest. Really.
Right.
I don't wanna.
Or just don't do the quest.
Yeah. Like whatever. Spent about a month on that quest, but okay.
I know, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like, will you let this succubus stay here for like and make money for the city, or are you gonna kill her and just let her off? And then like the city's poor. It's like I guess I don't know. Let her stay. She ain't kill her nobody.
But to summarize, we've got our tropes are just as horrendous as Japan's.
Right.
Our mentality is more about ease or like streamlining than say like a Japanese game where it's like you need execution to be good at the game, like the DMC. That's a marketing tool. Whereas for us, we're like, yeah, DMC, Devil May Cry. You know, we're like, oh, that one works easier, even though it's a European. But still.
So next question would be, do you consider your own personal taste in games typical for an American?
Yes.
No.
I'm going to say no as well.
Yes. I play mostly first-person shooters from Fallout, Call of Duty, which you call me a casual, but I play Call of Duty the way you play League of Legends. Like, I know everything about that damn game.
Bar shoots, grenade,
Q
GTK, low.
Q does my first move, W does my second move, E does my, and R does my ultimate.
You sound like you're boring yourself talking about the game.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, whatever. I'm just giving you shit, but
I know.
Take that shit.
take it.
Yeah, I would say no, because I'm usually okay with any game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay.
I wouldn't say I'm okay with any game. I'm open to like looking at it. There are some games I think are awful,
See, that's what I was going to ask you, too.
and there are some games that I won't play based off the art style. But there are games that I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, and other people might be like, oh, that's like a dumb idea. Like Neo, I think is gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
But a typical gamer, right? Because when I was in the military, that's all you had. Bro, when's the next Battlefield dropping? You know, or Call of Duty or Madden, and that was or NBA 2K. But all those things were just like they're just like the streamlined games, and deviating from that was just like weird to them. It's like you do realize you're staring at a TV, just like me. Inputting stuff, but the minute I go, hey, let's play Overwatch instead of let's play freaking, Call of Duty, then they go, what? Why is this a ninja? What the fuck? This little girl can fly all over the place? Why is she in a robot? That's dumb. Why doesn't she speak English? And then you write some different stuff.
Yeah, I would say I'm very different because I would. It's weird. I actually lean towards the Japanese style of game.
Yeah. Because you don't you like RPGs, but you definitely stray towards JRPGs more than American.
Yeah.
But he does like his ease.
He was like, what?
He does like his ease of games.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean,
yeah, he does.
As far as Twitch goes, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
every game that he's played like just about on console that hasn't been an RPG, it's been on easy or normal.
Easy. Oh, my bad. I thought you meant like he likes I know
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's alright.
And when you said E's at first, I thought you meant the series
Yeah.
E's, YS.
Oh no, not that.
That's what I was saying.
But anyway, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into like a lot of the action RPGs. In fact, it makes me mad that every JRPG now is basically an action RPG.
Well, we'll wait on 15. So maybe
So it
next
just
time.
upsets me because I that's not what I like. I like the classic style JRPG, and I get it, it's classic. Whenever I say it's classic, I realize that I'm
Dating yourself?
dating, but potentially holding gaming back.
Dating yourself?
I'm potentially holding gaming back by wanting it to stay how it used to be.
Right.
So it's kind of a negative to demand that.
You're nagging game.
But I wish it wasn't all action RPG. I wish, and I think we're changing. I think we're going back a little bit, so where we have more turn-based.
7, we got Ready Second, we got a couple.
Persona?
So I've got everything I need, so I don't need to complain. But Final Fantasy 15 is not where I wanted that series to go. But it could be fun.
Should have said something by 12. Or no,
I
10-2.
I
Should have said something by 10-2.
10-2, or sorry, 12.
Yeah. 10-2 is actually really good.
You're actually getting 12, right? The remake?
Yeah, whenever they drop it.
Do they have a date? If I have time, I'll get it.
I'll get it. I don't care. I think
that game is flawed as fuck, though.
I like that game.
12's the one with the gamers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
12's got
Oh,
games.
yeah, we're gonna have fun with that, yeah.
So we've got that. Is there? What's the third part?
Third part to it is, what parts of Japanese or European gaming do you find interesting or amusing?
Music. We can't say bad too.
Let's just throw in bad as well.
Alright. First of all, one thing I always liked about Japanese RPGs is that it even though it's a little tropey, it's always a little bit more high-spirited than the American RPGs.
Oh, absolutely.
So I kind of always found that interesting. Like, you guys are like kind of dealing with these kind of catastrophes going on. But it's like, yeah, we got it, we're gonna do it with
It's like
teamwork.
Disney movie RPG.
Yeah, that's why I like Dragon Quest.
Well, look at Chrono Trigger too.
Chrono
Yeah,
Trigger.
that's great. OJs.
Like, the people are happy.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's the demon coming. It's like, yeah, I guess this sucks. And it's like, please save us. And then you save them. Then they're, believe it. Do you believe that? You save them from a catastrophe, and they're happy about it, and they celebrate it.
And according to like,
I can't remember the last American game where anybody's put on a smile.
right.
Yeah, in ours, everyone gets like the end of Dragon Age Origins.
That's what I was gonna say.
Gray.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. God dang, like Dragon Age Origins is like one of my favorite RPGs, and the funny thing about that is like even when you win, you're losing somehow.
Yeah, you
Right,
lose.
right.
It's just like holy crap. Can anyone be happy about the things we're doing?
Yeah.
Even I was like, just like.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'm sure Japan has a lot of this too, but we kind of gravitate to that, like the drama, the negativity, or whatever. I mean, you could say reality TV, right? Like we like it when. I was going reality TV,
sorry, my bad.
but I mean, if you look at that, that's pretty easily consumed, right? And then when people go, like when you're playing online, or when you're playing a game, whatever, and at the end of your game, like I remember the end of Gears of War 2. You're like, all right, we did it. We're gonna blow everything up. We're gonna stop it, and all that stuff. And you end the game, and it ends with Adam Phoenix going. He's like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What have you done?" And you're just like,
yeah, I remember now. And yeah, like they're flying in the helicopter, just like this is a mistake.
Yeah. And they're
We
like,
shouldn't get this.
an entire coalition of people got it wrong, and then one dude who happens to be your dad is going, "You goofed." So what is going on with those little rascals?
Those rascals.
But yeah, in Japan, they're more about, hey, let's make sure we have happiness at the end. Make sure everyone's chilling and have a good time. Go outside, take your peas. But yeah, they're like, oh, good times will become of us after we've saved the day. Lavos is gone. It's time to celebrate.
Yeah, I'm going back to that party, baby.
What's this? An invasion? That's just one of the endings. But it's kind of, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And then, what?
A majority says classic RPG combat is great. You must be a little bit behind. Because it's so streamlined
you
and
both
user
are.
accessible, but also allows for deep party creation and strategic combat.
Mhm.
Action RPGs are more about thrill of action.
Actually, like
I could
wouldn't-
challenge
yeah,
that.
I wouldn't say it's all about the thrill of action because I mean you could look at The Witcher as a good example. There's a lot of strategy that goes on The thing I didn't even realize when I was playing Witcher 2 was that you could switch swords,
What?
and that there's a big difference between them.
Yeah.
And I was playing it.
The silver
Even
and
in-
steel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you can do
but the thing, yeah, of course, in
Well,
3
3 does
I'm
it for you though.
But I'm talking about in the sense of 2, you had to know which sword you had. You had to keep track of all those upgrades. Like, you're like, oh, I got a new regular sword. Oh, shit, which one am I going? Or whatever the case is. And you had to realize that, like, because that game was not laid out for you. There's not a section where it's like, oh, we're only fighting these guys. Now we're only fighting these guys. You can go into an area and you're fighting bug-type enemies. And you're like, shit, I could have used that really strong bug-type thing, and it actually matters. Or, shit, I should have set up traps before I got in this fight. Now I'm fucked. All that stuff. That
I
stuff
think
does
a good action RPG will take what would have been in a turn-based game and make it make sense in
Right.
real time.
It's-
and it's hard. And you don't get it a lot.
I
but-
actually think it's harder.
Yeah.
Because on turn-based, you could be like, oh, let's just turn it into menus. And
Right,
then you
right.
focus on the mechanics of it. But in the sense of doing that for something that's more fast-paced, now we're talking about people like in your particular sense that maybe aren't all about Twitch style.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, I want to make it harder for people who are playing like a harder, like, or are used to that Twitch style. So
Right.
let's talk about mechanics then. If you're going into mechanics, okay, how do the mechanics I've given to the player work and all that other stuff, and how does all that stuff go together?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Here's an action RPG. I guess kind of an action RPG that I think nails that. Baldur's Gate.
I haven't played enough of it.
If you play Baldur's Gate, that might as well be at times a turn-based RPG because you have to, like,
You have to
every time the cooldowns start and stuff, you have to basically stop it unless you're really, really good and like plan out the moves.
Well,
and do
that's
it.
the first Dragon Age.
right,
too.
and like
Yeah,
KOTOR
right,
and like
yeah.
that. But I think Baldur's Gate is probably the hardest.
Because you like it's time to all right, do this. I'm gonna set you up so you're blocking the doorway so that way my teammates can hit you. And so you have it set up, and then you're like, go, do it. Then you wait a couple seconds, see what happens. New things develop, like you're killing him, he's dying. And then it's like, all right, let me get my pause it again, do some more queued up actions, go again, and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Well,
Yeah, that one's tricky.
Yeah, they. I think that applies to this game. I still have it. It's called Prince of Kin. It might as well be a Chinese Baldur's Gate. It's the same concept, except you're a prince and you've been wronged and you got to make it right. And you get a party of like 8.
that's
You could die in a second if you're not pausing every couple of seconds and then making sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The fights are great, but yeah, it takes fucking forever to win a fight.
Majority says, how far separated would you say the genre deviations are, action versus turn-based? Personally, I would say that
They're not.
there's transitions.
I wouldn't
between-
say good.
Because, like, so you have pure turn-based on one end, which would be Dragon Quest. That's not even necessarily that's like 2 turns. Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even one. It might even be 1 turn, really, right?
Mm.
Because you tell your characters to attack and then they attack.
right.
You don't even have like turns per se.
Oh,
It's
where
rounds.
like even though you're attacking, they're attacking or whatever.
Yeah, because
Type of-
it's based on your agility. So you do this, you do this. You
It
do
just
this.
goes who attacks first is your agility.
Yeah, so that's probably the least. So that's probably Dragon Quest,
It's a
and
what's
goes
called
all the way
two
to Bloodborne, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
What would be the most like action RPG you could think of? Like on this scale, I would think Bloodborne or Dark Souls, right? Because there's no.
What would you put Kingdom of Amalur?
I didn't play it.
It's
I put that in the bankruptcy category.
You'd be right.
as much shit as that game got, the game was pretty good.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we could go Bloodborne in the sense of like you have just about fully control of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think like because I'm literally comparing every time we're talking about turn-based, I'm comparing Dragon Quest to Final Fantasy 15. That's pretty much how I'm doing it. And even
We could
in
do that.
then,
We could do that.
Final Fantasy 15 or I mean, not even that because like Dragon Age for instance wasn't turn-based.
But I feel like it's somewhere in between.
It was I wouldn't say that because like yeah you had an attack like rhythm when you touch the person, but before that you can choose to attack whenever you want. Like magic guys can attack whenever they want so long as they're so long as they finish the animation.
Yeah.
They could start another magic attack. The disadvantage was when you're a warrior, you have to hit, and then you hit. Well, I mean, they're both hitting at the same time, really. It wasn't like KOTOR.
I guess 15 is having a turn-based thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it has
so
turn-based
if well, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. That's why
Yeah.
I want to use it as an example in this situation, but it just doesn't work because I haven't seen it yet.
we don't know.
The only thing I can say is they probably are using it because there's times when the camera is behind one of the other guys. So it's like that's probably when they're using it.
And then,
So-
like,
Am I touching anything?
Chrono Trigger, and then to that extent, Final Fantasy VI, and I mean all the Final Fantasies basically on the PlayStation. They're active.
Not
Or-
all of them.
Was 8 not? I never played 8. So.
10 wasn't
no, I'm
active.
saying PlayStation, just the first one.
Oh, I was like, 10's PlayStation, bro. It's one of them.
Yeah.
9 was active.
9 was active and 7 was active.
8 was active. 8 was
It was
active.
okay.
I
So-
think like 5 or 4 weren't active.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, are you sure 4?
I remember a lot of 4.
I thought 4 was active. Maybe the remake was.
Regardless.
Anyway, so those games have that action element of timing in them, but they're not. They're still turn-based.
It's not timing, but it's timing. Yeah.
There's an element of time.
Yeah.
Of racing against the clock to do something, but it's not like an action game. Like you're not telling him to like move and attack. So that's kind of like an in between, but more towards the turn-based side. And then I think in the middle you have like KOTOR, where it's like, right? Would you say that?
See, I don't know because you brought up a good point about turns as opposed to like
Like a real turn-based would be like a tactics game,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
everybody like, has a
Like
turn
Final
order.
Fantasy Tactics or
Yeah,
I mean, Final Fantasy X, everyone has a turn order. You see it on the side.
that's true.
This,
Yeah, like that.
This guy.
It's the same thing. I
Oh no,
think.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking of another.
There was one, I can't think of the name of it, but it was like a sort of more American looking anyway, tactics game. I forgot what it's called, but they had like phases.
Yeah.
So it's enemy phase and then it's player phase, and it was just like, okay,
Ooh,
you
that's
know.
kind of like XCOM,
Yeah, XCOM in that regard, which is made by who again?
Firaxis. Firaxis.
Firaxis is
Right.
American.
I think so.
Okay, so.
Could be wrong, but
Regardless, I mean, as far as like being what's like necessarily removed, I wouldn't say they're that far off when it comes to like Final Fantasy 15 and Dragon Quest. It's closer than you think. It's
Yeah.
just not.
I mean, stats are stats. They
Stats
all
are
they all
stats.
hold stats. They all hold characteristics. It's just how they choose to let you interact with them that changes.
Right.
They're still long story-based games.
Agility is just dexterity.
I don't know. It's a lot of theory crafting in that.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, it's a great thing to kind of delve into or to write about.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that's not really talked about like all that much. Is like what really is turn-based and what really is like real-time like combat.
Because theoretically, you could say World of Warcraft is a turn-based game.
Yeah.
Because if you tell
Oh,
your warrior to auto attack or to attack, he's going to attack based on the cooldowns that he has.
in the timing of the sword is every 2.6 seconds. So
Right.
I'm like, all right. So every two.
So
one,
while
two.
you're not
Not to mention you're using your abilities to cooldown. So
Right.
as soon as you hit,
so our cooldowns turns.
essentially because it's like, all right.
They've kind of made it dynamic, yeah, in
Yeah.
that sense. Then
Yeah.
it's like same thing with Final Fantasy. Operates the same as WoW. Say I've got 2 seconds per cooldown or whatever, and we've effectively made it turn-based because then he has his chance to attack, and I have my chance to attack.
Yeah.
What deviates from that is like games like Age of Russia, I think it was, which was it was an RPG, but it was like you could turn off the whole like auto attack and attack for yourself and defend on your own. And Blade and Soul, which is actually really good. Just messes up my computer all the time. But you could block whenever you want to. You can hit people back, and
What about Terra? Same way.
I haven't played enough of Terra.
Terra's shitty.
Probably would be, but
Terra's not very good.
Okay. I never played it. I'm just asking. You seem like a
So what other parts of Japanese or European gaming do you find interesting, amusing, or not to your pleasure?
I think this might sound contradictory. I think working for stuff is good, but I think a lot of Japanese games put too much too much emphasis on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Grind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Grinding.
Grind is great, and I think it's a necessary evil. But I think they do sometimes take it too far when it comes to stuff like that.
If I have to stay in the zone to grind out, like, what Chrono Trigger did this so well, in which you just kill the enemies on the way to the boss. You're strong enough to kill the boss, typically, right?
For the most part.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it requires some skill if you're going to do that.
Yeah, but that's what
That
I
I
mean.
clearly don't have.
Exactly. But, no, not the whole, I wasn't trying to insult you. But what I'm saying is
A little later.
Yeah, a little later. But what I'm saying is that when you go fight, you go right to the boss and you're able to fight him and kill him. That's what Chrono Trigger you can do. But if I go to a boss and I'm like, I get devastated by it. Like, I just had no chance. I gotta just sit in the zone and just be like, okay, well, we'll just keep killing these little rats. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I feel like there's something to be said about you took the time to go out and farm and master something. I think the game has to give you goals to do that. And by that I mean, I think that's where job classes are good.
Right.
But some games don't do it. It's literally just a stat grind and that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gained 3 more endurance. I'm
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah.
Instead of like actually getting off class. That's what made Bravely Default and Sex so good. It's like, alright, I'm sick of playing this class job. Let me just switch over to this one, see what I can do. Ooh, I want a new setup.
But isn't the Korean market like way more grindy?
No, that's like a thing, like Lineage 2, for instance. People be like, oh my gosh, that game was so grindy. Did you not play EverQuest? Like, you think there's no grind there? You think there's no grind in Star Wars Galaxies where it took months to be a Jedi? Like, there was grind all over the place. It's just more in the sense of, like, some grinds they put on, like, there's difference between a universal grind and, like, an objective grind, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I have an objective grind, I'm Star Wars Galaxies. I want to be a Jedi. I'm going to grind for 4 months to get this goal. Then there's an actual universal grind where in order to compete at a PvP level, you have to be at this level. That level entails a grind. That's a difference. Is like one is entirely up to you, and another one is just everyone's got to go through it. And that's where like a lot of MMOs, like I had a real big problem with. Like Final Fantasy doesn't really have that, right? It just
So gaming through the decades?
it's like it has an item level thing, and when you first were going up to hit 50, it was so many quests and so many other stuff. You never really stopped to just kill somebody. It was just you're like, all right, cool. I got to go fight this other boss. Oh, cool. The story got interesting. Neat. I'm there. And then going from Heaven's Ward and getting to 60, it was just a Game of Thrones freaking story. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. People dying, intrigue, mystery, all that shit. And then it was fine. It's like masked ultimately.
Yeah.
Because you're having fun. But I was also the person that played Nine Dragons, which was this old game made by Midway and Acclaim, and I had to grind for almost. And the thing is that game had so much fucking potential. They squandered it. I grinded for 3.5 hours every day for I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks, fighting the same monsters and getting killed because I was in a PvP server. Getting killed by the same people over and over because that game's grinding operated in a sense of if you use the ability, you get some experience for it. If you keep using it, you get more experience for it. But it gets more and more unforgiving to the point of if it goes 100.00, right? Is what you need to get to. If I use an ability that takes a lot of my mana up, it wasn't balanced properly. It would give me 0.01. You're telling me I have to do it that many flipping times just to get this ability to the next level? It's not even the max level. It's just another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. That got really done real quick to the point where people would literally, there was an ability where you can up everyone's stats, right? By it started off being 2, and then you could up it to I think 20. That was the first stat everyone said to max out. So what did I do? I put something on my keyboard, put something on my what's it called? Turn off the monitor. Went to sleep, woke up. Oh wow, I'm level 9 now in that ability. Sweet. Right? Is that really how you want me to play a game?
Yeah.
Gaming Through the Decades says, I don't mind, we should check out his channel by the way, I don't mind mindless grinding like Dark Souls 3 for example. It gives it some replay value when you don't have a ton of time to put into the story. So playing for 30 minutes isn't useless.
I wouldn't really call Dark Souls 3 mindless grindy.
Yeah, because I'm saying each fight, it doesn't matter if you're 100 sometimes, some enemies still pose a threat.
Yeah, I would say there's a there's more of a sense to grind than in Bloodborne. Like, I didn't really have to grind in Bloodborne, but the only reason why I grinded for our sake was to get to make sure I was equipped to handle it when it counted, which was on stream, you know. But I never grind in Bloodborne. I didn't grind in Demon Souls. I grinded in Dark Souls, in the Forbidden Basin or whatever.
Oh,
Forgotten Basin or whatever, where you have to fight the hunters.
Yeah.
I would grind there, and then Dark Souls 2. I don't think I grinded, but if you're progressing a lot, there's not really a reason to grind. In Dark Souls 3, the only reason why you grind is if you're going for a build.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to beat the game, you don't need to grind.
Yeah.
You know what I like about European gaming?
What?
The sense of humor. I think European games have the best sense of humor. Case in point, Witcher 3.
Yeah, but is there any other?
I think the writing in... Well... I guess... You know, like the Baldur's Gate games?
Yeah.
I feel like those are European games.
Are they
Well,
European games?
I will.
Sort of.
I see what you got, and I'll raise you. Divinity is usually pretty funny,
Yeah.
and that's in Belgium.
Yeah, a lot of those
creators,
games, even if they're
Larian
like
Studios.
American made or whatever, like they're very European influenced. Like Baldur's Gate, like heavy into like the British, you know, they all got the accents, and it's heavy into that older style of storytelling and everything. And those games have the funniest characters, and they're so sarcastic, and I love dry humor, and that's very Monty Python.
I mean, you say that, but I think that was probably the best thing about Dragon Age. All of them actually was the characters were well written, regardless of what you say, and be like, oh, the game was stupid. Oh, you're dumb. No, characters were well.
Alistair was one of the characters in Dragon Age Origins. He was constantly cracking jokes.
Alistair wasn't bad. I mean, like specifically in 3. I forget the name of the guy. He's a wizard.
Oh God.
He doesn't want to be a wizard. Dorian, I think it is.
Oh, and who's the most memorable character in Dragon Quest VIII?
I don't fucking know.
Genghis.
Genghis Khan.
He's like a he's like a Cockney British accent kind of guy. He's like the big guy with
Oh,
the
he's
weird,
the big guy with the
weird-
horns.
the weird
Yeah,
crown.
yeah.
and
Okay.
he's just hilarious, and it's
Yeah.
like that British Cockney style of talking.
Yeah, so Dorian's good. Sarah's okay. Iron Bull was
Iron Bull is awesome.
incredibly well written. Who was actually voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., which is you wouldn't even think.
Yeah.
You're like, huh? But yeah, those two characters, I had both of them on my team half the time, and they were just the funniest people. They would throw back and forth insults to each other, and I'm just sitting there like, guys, stay focused. In my head,
I
I'm
know,
like,
you're like, God again.
I just remember Witcher 3. One line stood out. It was me and that witch chick that he liked, the dark haired one.
right.
Can't remember her name.
Her name escapes me too.
Trish?
No, the dark haired one.
Oh, it was someone with a Y.
Yeah. Well, we were out in the forest.
Jessica? Yanessa?
Yeah, something like that. It's YSSE.
We were out in the forest, like fighting these creatures, and it was like some invisible creature or something that could pop up and then just start fighting and then pop out again.
Right.
And my character girl was like, "What was that?" And then she just goes, "A unicorn," and it just like in the middle of a battle with them talking shit like that. That's so European. It's just great. I love that. I get a huge kick out of that stuff.
Witcher 3 has so many good stuff.
Yennefer.
Yennefer, yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that is really interesting, and humor is really hard to do in gaming,
Right.
because whereas in Europe it might be like satirical or dark or whatever, and it's like just kind of like under the radar.
Yeah.
Japan is over the top.
Right.
God Hand being the biggest case. One of the bosses is you fight two gay black dudes in Speedos that are hitting on you while you're fighting them. And you're like, I'm not that kind of guy. And they're just my type. You know, and you're just like, whoa. And then you'll be fighting further down. You'll fight the Super Sentai, like 5, and they're little gremlins that are Power Rangers. They're like, what's this about? It's fucking bonkers, you know. Or the fact that you can one of your abilities you can spin around and kick someone in the nuts, and it's like ding, and it's like oh, slapstick and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Baseball bat someone out into existence, all that shit, and the ending theme. Have you heard it
For
God Hand?
I remember liking it.
We'll do it off stream, but remind me. Oh my god.
Dorothy asked, "When's the last time or memorable time a game taught you a lesson?"
Ooh.
I think The Last
That's a
of
good
Us
question.
was the best one. But Metal Gear Solid 3 taught me about, because I've never been in the military or anything, but it's kind of showed me like what a soldier might. I mean, again, all dramatized, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like a soldier's sense of duty and the things some of them would be willing to do for that.
Yeah,
Ironically.
I'm sure it's not real because I'm not a soldier.
No,
but-
I mean, no, you're on the right track. Ironically, one guy I know is so like against the establishment, but he's like, that's like the best scene in gaming ever. I'm like,
Yeah.
you mean this person who still cares about our country, but you're anti-Semitic? All right, whatever.
But The Last of Us taught you something about like being a parent.
Last of Us taught me it's important to be selfish.
Yeah.
Pretty much, or not important. It's okay, rather. If you value something and you want to hold on to it, and for whatever reason, you know, like it's not like he's trying to hurt her. He's not trying to kill her or anything like that. He just doesn't want to lose her because it's the last person he felt connected
The
to.
last piece of his humanity. Right?
Yeah.
Real quick, are we good with wrapping up this? We have a couple other questions.
Oh, yeah. Good.
No question? No?
You just want to go questions now?
Yeah, it's a good question.
All right. So that's it for the American Gamers. If you have anything you want to mention, don't hesitate. But anyway, Gaming Through the Decades. Speaking of Power Rangers, what's y'all's take on the new Power Rangers trailer?
It looks pretty campy.
What? It
Yeah,
does?
I'm not really all that sold on it. I don't really like the actors. Was my main thing. I was talking to Matt about it, and I was looking at the actors, and I was just like, not sold. Maybe it was just the trailer, but I was just like, okay, cool. I'm probably still gonna go see it. I'm just like,
That's the sad thing about it. We're gonna go see it.
and if anything, I wish we could.
I don't know why anybody would want to. I don't get it.
I would totally want to Mystery Science Theater it, but
Yeah,
we
that'd
would
be fun.
probably have to see it in a drive-in to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We should Mystery Science Theater some movies. That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Copyright like crazy, but
Copyright? Yeah. We'd have to put it on the website
yeah.
that we are never on.
I don't know. I want this the old school. I really want it to be just hammy as hell, like the old school Power Rangers.
Yeah.
This one just seems a little too serious, and not to mention like the gems give us power, and it's like no, just get in the suit. Dude,
Yeah.
get in the suit. It's morphin' time.
Yeah, I hate it when like they always try to explain it nowadays.
Fine,
with
don't
science.
explain it. Just do
Like-
the thing.
Science is great. I got nothing against it. We should put more money in NASA.
Don't
Yada
explain
yada.
the force. Just
Yeah.
Put more
And the
money into
movies,
this.
just let it be. Let it be that they morph with the little stupid things and then morph into
It's
stuff.
alien
Well-
technology. Why do you have to explain it?
Yeah.
That's the question that I actually ran into when I was thinking about games and ideas and all that other stuff. Is Harry Potter has never explained why he can use magic. It just says he's not a monk,
Cool.
right?
All right.
I'm happy with that.
That's fine, but in the sake of someone who's actually creating some of that stuff, knowing how much people are going to be okay with it leads to different opportunities. Because while in Harry Potter they just go, "Oh, he's just a wizard," in Star Wars they explain it. Not just that, they also explain how a lightsaber works.
In the prequels,
Okay,
let's nail that down real quick.
right, but they also explain how a lightsaber works. They also explain how the Force operates, all that stuff. They explain everything in that, and they go full in depth, which leads to a different and obviously bigger universe. So where's the limit is dependent on what you.
I think the limit is when it exceeds the theme. That's your limit.
Like if Harry Potter was like,
Constructing a lightsaber doesn't have to be like you need to get the crystal from blank blank blank, and you need to get this
Yeah.
emitter from blank blank blank. But they did it. Doesn't exceed it
If
because
you're
it's
using
scientific.
If you're using it as a story element, then that's great. I don't really care. Like we need a crystal for a lightsaber. I don't care how you make the lightsaber, but if you need to get a crystal from a cave that holds story importance,
right?
Okay,
like
fine.
Well, here's one. Neo being the one. Why is he the one? Explain. You gotta explain like how he's the special one out of everyone.
I'm still waiting.
What do you kind of do? Explain a little bit. About
well, he's
it.
a Christ figure.
Yeah, but
No, he's not the one. He's not the one.
I didn't see all of them, so I guess
You know who
I-
is the one?
Who?
Mr. Or not Mr. Anderson. Agent freaking what's his name? Is the one.
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith is
Oh,
the
is
one.
he?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a thing that everyone like skipped out on. But yeah, there's so much evidence that points to the fact that Agent Smith is the one, and that Neo's just kind of there.
Oh, really? I guess I gotta.
It's actually so Wisecrack does a thing
real
about
quick,
it.
real quick.
Huh.
It's circling.
Circle, circle, dot, dot. I got my cootie shot.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You think that girl is hot?
We're good.
I think I'd rather not.
And,
But yeah, they do a thing on it. It's pretty
Okay.
interesting. But there, before that, I'd seen other people talk about it. And I was like, huh, you don't say.
Majority asked new Power Rangers versus new Ghostbusters.
New Power Rangers, I would go. with-
I haven't actually
New-
seen the trailer for the new Power Rangers.
The new Ghostbusters was. We all know what it was ultimately. It's just
Women
supposed to be-
can't act.
Wow.
Wow.
No, we're not. I'm not. Do
no,
not represent all of our.
I'm just kidding. But I know that was like a big thing, right? That they're like women can't be funny or something.
No. It was the fact that like they had a whole. It's like Ghostbusters. Yeah, but now they're girls. It's like, and then people were like, why? Why not go with the whole like?
I'm like, we're trying to make a statement. It's like,
What statement?
Yeah.
For what reason?
why would you have to make the movie to make the statement? Just make the statement.
Yeah.
Or not even that. One thing that I also found was funny is the portrayal of the assistants. There was a chart that kind of broke it down. The portrayal of the assistant in the original, I didn't really watch too much of Ghostbusters. I remember the end with the Stay Puft Marshmallow, but that was it. And I was like, why is that girl possessed? But the assistant in the first one, in the original series, was competent, and she was like a wisecracker, and she could actually handle the duties of it. In the new Ghostbusters, it's what's his name? It's Thor, and he's essentially just fucking humor. He gets possessed. He's treated as a sexual object, pretty much the whole movie. And I'm just like, what statement are you trying to make?
Yeah.
You know,
It's a real
like,
statement.
are you going for equality? Or are you going for let's shift the paradigm, completely to our side?
And Majority asks another question. I don't know if this one makes as much sense, but Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I don't know if there was one, versus Dragon Ball Evolution.
The old school movie.
I would say Dragon Ball Evolution. I had a good time watching that movie.
Don't lie to yourself.
I did.
No.
I laughed so hard during that movie.
About how bad it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I cried.
When he threw the bodies into the lava and then jumped on them, I was dying in my chair.
Yeah.
It's like somebody made this. Somebody spent time and worked on this movie.
Someone, where are you?
Like,
Oh
all
my
right, now,
God.
just say the joke.
Yeah. All right, and I want to be in the room when they're editing it, and the director's like, all right, and I want that body to turn like a rock, and then he jumps on it, and then the next body turns into a rock. He's like, okay, body turns into lava rock. Okay, I think I can make this happen. It just takes a huge swig of like Jack Daniels. It's like, let's do it.
How to do it.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah.
What's the name of the guy who made the series Toriyama?
Yeah, what about?
I wonder what he thought about when he was just watching that movie.
I'm never giving this to the Americans again.
Like, that's what I would have done. They nailed my vision exactly. Gaming Through the Decades asks, oh god, that's a huge topic that we should probably take to another podcast at some point.
Let's
But
make it next week's podcast.
retro versus modern. He's a big retro gamer. Ugh.
Oh, Game Through Decades.
Yeah, would you believe it?
No, I wouldn't.
Anyway, we should take that to the next week's podcast.
Yeah, that's a day for an
I actually, speaking about that, I actually saw the Game Through Decades. Your content's really good, my dude. That's all I'm saying. I don't want you to get like elite props.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Anyway, I'm Spencer.
I'm Rosie.
I'm JD.
This is The Itch. Thanks for watching.
Bye!
Bye.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet? Alright, I'm gonna keep waiting.